The rain began sometime after midnight. You remember it starting as a whisper against the windshield, barely audible over the low hum of the engine. Then it became something else entirely. A steady drumming. A curtain of water that transformed the world beyond your headlights into a smear of motion and shadow. You have been driving for hours. The highway unwinds before you like a ribbon of wet asphalt, and your hands rest loosely on the steering wheel while your eyes feel heavy. The dashboard clock glows with soft green light. 2:47 a.m. The number means nothing. Time has dissolved into the rhythm of the windshield wipers and the hiss of tires against wet pavement. You cannot remember where you were coming from. You cannot remember exactly where you are going. The destination sits somewhere in the back of your mind, like a half-remembered dream. The GPS screen flickers once, twice, then goes dark. You glance down at your phone in the cup holder. No service. You have somehow drifted beyond the reach of the modern world. You should feel isolated, but instead you feel as though you were always meant to be here. The highway curves left, and your headlights sweep across the rain-slicked road, illuminating a faded sign at the side of the pavement. You slow the car and squint through the rain-streaked glass. Morrow's Hollow, 2 miles. You do not recognize the name, and yet something about it feels strangely familiar. Not in a way you can explain, but in the same way a dream lingers just beyond reach, in the way a place you have never visited can still feel like home. You take the exit. The road narrows immediately, tall trees forming a tunnel of darkness and rain. Your headlights struggle against the gloom, and the fog thickens, rolling across the road in slow, deliberate waves. You drive nearly a mile before you see the first building. A gas station with its lights off, pumps standing silent beneath a rusted awning. Beyond it, more buildings emerge from the fog. A diner with its windows dark. A hardware store with its sign hanging crooked. A church whose steeple disappears into the low-hanging clouds. The town appears frozen in time, not abandoned exactly, but forgotten. The buildings are intact, the streets are paved, but there are no cars, no lights, no sign that anyone has walked these streets in a very long time. You roll down your window and listen. The rain is the only sound. The silence that surrounds it feels almost tangible, as though the town itself is holding its breath. You drive slowly, the shops passing on either side, a barber pole, a post office, a storefront with mannequins arranged in a frozen tableau, their painted eyes following you as you pass. And then, on the corner ahead, you see the telephone booth. It stands alone on a small patch of sidewalk, the glass perfectly clean, the metal frame polished to a soft gleam. No graffiti, no rust. It looks as though it was installed an hour ago. The telephone inside is ringing. You stop the car in the middle of the street. The ringing is not a modern ring. It is a bell ring, the kind you remember from old movies and photographs of an era you never actually lived through. It cuts through the rain with a clarity that seems impossible. You step out of the car, and the rain immediately soaks through your clothes. Water runs down your face and into your eyes, but you do not bother to shield yourself. You are already walking toward the booth. You reach the corner and stand before the glass door. The telephone continues ringing, louder now, more insistent, as though it has been waiting for you specifically. You reach out, your fingers touching the metal handle. And then, from across the street, you hear a voice. Whatever happens. You turn. A woman stands beneath the awning of the building opposite, holding a dark umbrella. Her dress is elegant, old-fashioned, the kind a woman might have worn in a black and white film. Her hair is dark, pulled back from her face, and her lips are painted a deep wine-red shade. She is watching you. Don't answer the phone. Her voice is calm and measured, carrying across the rain with an ease that defies the distance between you. She takes a step forward, the umbrella shifts, and for a moment you see her face more clearly. She is beautiful, but there is something beneath the beauty, something watchful, something that suggests she knows more than she is telling you. You open your mouth to ask who she is, but before you can speak, she steps back into the shadows. The rain thickens between you. You blink. She is gone. The telephone is still ringing. You open the door, and the ringing becomes louder, more immediate, filling the small space of the booth and bouncing off the glass walls with an almost physical presence. You step inside, and the rain vanishes. The silence of the booth closes around you, broken only by the relentless ring. The receiver is black and heavy, made of bakelite, a spiral cord connecting it to the body of the telephone. You reach for it. You lift the receiver. The ringing stops. For a long moment there is nothing. Silence stretches across the connection. You press the receiver to your ear and listen. And then a voice speaks. You answered. The voice is calm and measured, but there is something about it that makes your breath catch. Good, the voice continues. You know that voice. You have heard it every day of your life. It is your own. Don't hang up, the voice says. Not yet. We have things to discuss. You cannot move. You cannot speak. Your hand is clenched so tightly around the receiver that your knuckles have gone white. Close the door, the voice says. The rain is getting louder. You turn. The door is still open. You reach back without thinking and pull it closed. The seal clicks, and the sound of the rain becomes muffled, but something about it has changed. The rhythm is slower now, the droplets seeming to fall through honey rather than air. You are alone with the voice. That's better, it says. You're standing in the middle of the booth. Your left hand is holding the receiver. Your right hand is pressed against the glass. You haven't blinked in nearly a minute. You blink. See, the voice says. I know what you're doing. I know what you're thinking. I know that you're beginning to wonder who I am. But you already know, don't you? Who are you? You ask. The voice laughs. A soft, gentle laugh. The same laugh you have heard your entire life. I told you, the voice says. I'm you. The question is who you are. You're tired, the voice continues. I can hear it in your voice. It's been a long night. You can't even remember when you started driving, can you? You try to remember. You try to think back. The memory is not there. I didn't think so, the voice says. It's getting harder to hold on to things, isn't it? The details, the specifics, the little moments that used to mean something. They just slip away. Explain, you say. Close your eyes, the voice says, just for a moment. No. Close your eyes, the voice repeats. Listen to the rain. It's soothing, isn't it? The sound of water against glass, the soft rhythm, the way it fills the silence. You hesitate, and then, despite yourself, you close your eyes. You hear it. The rain pattering against the glass roof, the distant rumble of thunder, the soft, steady rhythm of water meeting glass, meeting metal, meeting asphalt. The sound seems to slow further, each drop suspended for a moment before it falls, each pause between droplets stretching just a little longer than it should. Good, the voice says. Now breathe. Just breathe. Feel the air moving in and out of your lungs. Feel the weight of your body against the floor. Feel how tired you are. You do feel tired. You feel the exhaustion in your bones, a deep weariness that goes beyond physical fatigue. It feels as though you have been awake for days. Let your thoughts drift, the voice says. Don't try to hold on to anything. Just let them flow. Let them pass. You've been holding on for so long. Why hold on any longer? Your thoughts begin to drift. The rain seems to slow further, the pattering becoming softer, the world beyond your eyelids becoming distant and dim. What is your name? The voice asks. The question is gentle and simple, coming to you as though from a great distance. My name... What is your name? The voice asks again. You open your mouth and speak the words you have said 1,000 times. And then, as soon as the sounds leave your lips, you realize something strange. You cannot remember saying it. You cannot remember what you said. Good, the voice says. Do you remember where you were born? You try to recall, and the memory begins to form. A room, a face, a feeling of warmth, and then it dissolves like smoke in the rain. Your first pet? The voice asks. The name you gave it? The memory forms, a warm weight in your arms, a small, trusting face, a name on your lips, and then nothing. The street where you grew up? The voice asks. The number on the door? You see the street. You see the houses. You see a tree with branches reaching toward a pale sky. And then the image fades. Your mother's face? You try. You try so hard, but there is nothing. There is only a space where the memory should be, a hollow ache that feels like grief without a cause. That's it, the voice says. You're doing so well. Just let go. Just let it all go. It's so much easier to let go. You are crying. You did not realize you were crying. Tears are streaming down your face, mingling with the rain that still spatters against the glass. Your shoulders shake, and your breathing has become uneven. Don't fight it, the voice says. There's nothing to fight. You're not losing anything. You're just letting go. What are you doing to me? You ask. your voice sounding strange to your own ears, distant, the voice of a stranger. "I'm setting you free," the voice says. "You've been carrying so much, so many memories, so many burdens. You don't need them anymore." The rain continues to fall outside, and the streets are dark and still. You cannot remember why you stopped driving. You cannot remember how long you have been standing in the booth. You cannot remember what you did before the phone began to ring. Time itself feels disconnected, each moment bleeding into the next without distinction. "I'm going to tell you something," the voice says. "It's important. Listen carefully." You listen. "When you hang up, you'll see me." The words hang in the air. When I hang up, I'll see you? What does that mean? "I think you know," the voice says. "I think you've always known. You just forgot. But now you're starting to remember." I don't understand. "You will. You will. Now hang up the phone." You hesitate. "Hang up," the voice repeats. "It's time." Your hand begins to move, your arm, your shoulder, slowly, as though guided by something beyond your will, and you lift the receiver away from your ear. You place it back in the cradle. The click of the connection breaking seems impossibly loud. You turn. Across the street, another telephone booth stands on the corner. It is identical to yours. The same polished metal, the same clean glass, the same soft glow of a single bulb. And inside that booth, a man is standing. He is unmistakably you. At first, he does not move. He simply stands there, his hand still resting on the receiver, his body oriented toward the glass door. The rain falls around him, streaming down the glass. Then he raises his hand. You raise yours. He lowers his arm. You lower yours. He tilts his head slightly to the left. You tilt yours. The mirroring continues, perfect and precise, and for a brief moment, you allow yourself to believe everything is normal, that this is simply a trick of the light, a reflection cast by the rain and the fog and your exhausted mind. He blinks. You blink. He takes a breath. You take a breath. And then, after a long pause, he smiles. You do not. The smile is too wide, too knowing, stretching across his face in a way that suggests he understands something you do not. You watch as he slowly lifts the receiver again and places it against his ear. And even though you are standing across the street, even though the rain is falling and the wind is howling, you can still hear the voice. It is coming from the receiver in your own hand. "The rain is getting louder," the voice says. "Don't let him reach you." You look down at your hand. The receiver is still pressed against your ear. You did not realize you were still holding it. You drop it. It dangles on its cord, swinging gently back and forth. Across the street, the other you steps out of the booth and begins walking toward you. His steps are slow and deliberate, his feet splashing through the puddles. The rain soaks through his clothes, water running down his face, his hair plastered to his forehead. He is almost identical to you, but you notice something. His reflection is wrong. The streetlights cast his shadow in the wrong direction. The puddles at his feet do not seem to move as he walks. The rain falls through him. He reaches the edge of the curb, steps into the street, and begins to cross. As he approaches, you realize that you cannot remember which side of the street you were standing on when you first got out of the car. You cannot remember if you were ever in the booth at all. You cannot remember if he is approaching you or if you are approaching him. The rain continues to fall. Across the street, the telephone is ringing again. The other you is almost here. You look down at your hands, and you realize you cannot remember whose hands they are. You look up. The other you is standing directly in front of you. He smiles. You do not. The rain falls. The telephone rings. And somewhere in the distance, you hear a woman's voice. Whatever happens. The words fade into the storm. The other you reaches out. His hand touches your shoulder. And you realize you cannot remember which one of you is real.